The biggest critique I see on Twitter about Rupi Kaur is that her poems are very basic and that people think they can do better. And people say that their poems in the 6th grade in their personal journal were a lot better than, or are a lot better than Rupi Kaur's poetry. Or better than her poems. Okay. If you can do better, then why aren't you doing better? You know, you see a lot of people hating on her. I could do better. Man, my poems are way better than hers. Poet of the Decade? I could do way better than Rupi Kaur. Okay, then go do better than her. Go be better than Rupi Kaur. Instead of tweeting, oh my god, why is she Poet of the Decade? Go write some poems and we'll see how your poems do in comparison. Because Rupi Kaur, say whatever you want about her poems, but Poet of the Decade, sure. I don't see a problem with that. Rupi Kaur is the first person that I saw on social media that did poetry in that form. White background, Times New Roman font, I believe it's Times New Roman, all lowercase, and then, you know, the poem, and then she just does some hand drawing or something, puts that there, and that's the poem. She's the first person I saw do that. Now, if you go to Instagram and, you know, let's say you click on, this is what you can do. Click on a couple of Rupi Kaur poems, go to the Explore page, eventually all your stuff is going to be poetry, or like stuff in that format. And you're going to see how many different people are doing that stuff influenced by her. Rupi Kaur has made poetry mainstream on social media. That's what I think. I haven't seen anyone do that before. She's the first person I saw make that popular. That's the truth. Poetry on Instagram was not a thing until Rupi Kaur came along. People related to her stuff. She blew up. People saw, wow, successful. I'm gonna try doing that. Or, wow, that's really cool. I'm gonna try doing that as well. Now you see a bunch of Rupi Kaurs. So for someone to make poetry mainstream on social media, or to break through to that level where she's, you know, touring North America and, you know, reading out her poems to a group of people or an arena of people, yeah, I would say that's Poet of the Decade. What are we gonna like? Oh, her poems are not sophisticated enough to be Poet of the Decade. Like, what? Like, Drake is the artist of the decade. Does Drake have the most complex, you know, rhyme schemes or any of that stuff? No. He makes good songs. He's a hit maker. Rupi Kaur makes hits. That's what she does. Her poems are hits. If they weren't hits, they wouldn't get that many likes on social media. If Drake's songs weren't hits, they wouldn't get that many plays. And eventually, you become someone that is so big that everything you do just is going to reach that level. If you think you can do better than Rupi Kaur, if you think you can do better than Drake, or you think you can do better than any of these people, go do it. Go try it. Try it. Write out a poem, put it on Instagram, and do the whole thing, and you'll see it's not as easy as you think it is. It's not just sitting there, scribbling some stuff down, putting it out there, boom, you're done. It's not. The biggest criticism and the most amount of criticism always comes from people that are either not successful or they have never done anything creative in their life and they hate on other people's creativity. And they hate on someone else because they wish they could do that. You have never done anything creative in your entire life. Plain and simple. You've never done anything creative. Besides maybe a few art projects you did in elementary school. Maybe, you know, you had a tweet that was really funny. You've never put yourself out there. You've never even tried to do anything. So of course it's very easy to say, Rupi Kaur does not deserve to be Poet of the Decade. Her poems suck. It's so easy to say that. But if you actually did it or attempted to do it, you would know how hard it is to actually do. People that do things know how hard it is to actually do. People that sit at home and write negative stuff on Twitter, they've never tried to do anything. That's all they do. They are so negative and they just hate the fact that there's people that are successful doing stuff out there that they know they can't reach that point, so they'd rather just hate.